Hi, it's Matt from Huros Financial Services in Midland. I thought I'd try something a little bit differently this month, and I've fortunately got a real life client from the practice. And I'd just like to ask, firstly, introduce Doug. Doug, thanks for taking your time to meet with me today.
Yeah, welcome.
And today we're just going to ask a few very general questions regarding financial advice, financial planning, and see where those things lead. You're okay with that?
Happy to help.
Happy to help. Great, fantastic. So, just firstly, Doug, what made you seek advice in the first place?
That's a little bit of a broader answer than straightforward for you, Matt. We migrated over here to Australia about 16 years ago and took a fairly strong financial risk, put some money down into formulating our lives over here. And at the time I was sole provider for myself and my family, and I felt that was a big risk to be taking without some backup and support. And I've always felt that insurance for me gave me that sort of a little bit of security to go out there and take a few more risks, not necessarily just financially, but regarding what would happen if I was taken early or at an improper time, or if something perhaps hampered my ability to earn an income. So I think that's sort of triggered me into perhaps finding out a little bit more about what those types of policies would do. And I think they were crucial for me at that time, to not only for my peace of mind, but for my family as well, to know that if something were to happen, that we could continue, or the family could continue as a unit and help establish ourselves over here.
Okay, excellent, thank you. Secondly, what value do you believe your advisor brought to you when you started down that path? Obviously, 16 years ago, I wasn't your advisor at that stage, but just tell me a little bit about where you perceived the value that they added.
Yeah, I think that initially I sought out what I was looking for was a company or a structure that would meet my requirements for providing, I guess, heritage and a company that would been around for a while. So I sought out an advisory firm that had worked a long time in Perth. I was quite happy with those chaps there to help me out, and they put me on the right path. I think what I would have to say is, though, that the value from the advisor side came a lot later. I think that at the time when I was certainly just purchasing policies, I never really foresaw where the value might come with the advisor until perhaps we've introduced ourselves to each other, and I think that there's more value in that relationship than there was when I initially took out the policy. It was just a gateway initially.
Okay. Yeah. So. All right. So look, let's just explore that a little bit further then. So I suppose, in respect to the way the advisor or an advisor has assisted you in more recent times, would you mind just sort of exploring that a bit further?
I don't mind at all. In fact, it's great to have the opportunity because for many years, when you look at your outgoings with your account, you tend to see a line that says insurance outgoings, and you wonder, just what the value is. Well, it's fine because they quote a large number in insurable benefit, and you think to yourself, oh, okay, that's fine. If the worst happens, then this is what's going to happen. Unfortunately for me, and one of the reasons to want to volunteer for this type of interview, is that the worst for me did happen last year, and I went through quite a difficult period in my health, and I'm not actually clear of that yet. Still struggle with those issues. But the policies not only kicked in at that time to show the benefit, but the relationship with my advisor also kicked in, and that has been equally as good for me in my recovery as the sum assured or the money that's been paid out from the insurers. I can go on, I can tell you more about that if you wish. It really just does depend on which way you
I suppose a little bit more about the way that the advisor, being myself, has actually has been able to maybe relieve some of the not so much the financial, but I suppose it is the pressures and the process and things like that. I mean, everyone talks about insurance policies well, they never pay out. Well, can you just tell us a little bit more then about your experience?
Yeah, certainly. Well, it's no doubt, and I'll start with AMP. I have an AMP plan that I started out with. And AMP had been through a loop, so I wasn't really too keen in getting back in touch directly with AMP, knowing that they had their own struggles in place. I guess I got to a point where I couldn't work for myself in respect of filling out documentation. I couldn't understand perhaps to the same level or importance how my answers to questions which were quite vague to me about how that might be extrapolated by a third person in an office. But you've helped in no end of respect have you helped in that. By interpretation, as a go-between, as an agent for me to talk to, and in respect to that, that's given me reassurance to focus on myself and getting better. So, you know, I don't want to disrespect the insurance companies, but they could ring me at any time of day, and there was no order to the questions that were coming out and their inquiries about, have I got a certificate for this or have I got a document for that? And you've helped to calm all that down, to be quite honest. And now it's in a very ordered approach. So when we do talk, it's not like a knee-jerk reaction, or it catches me while I'm making dinner one night or in the midst of, you know, going off to see a friend or something like that, or having guests over. You're not sort of fielding a conversation with an insurer. Just wants 5 minutes of your time to talk. And the leveling out of that, the correlation of all the documentation, the backup and support that you get, the interpretation from the documents that go backwards and forwards between myself through you now and to the insurance company has been phenomenal. You know, it's a value that you can't pay for, I would go so much to say, because you're my guide in as much as that, I guess. You know, someone might ask an innocuous question of me, I give an innocuous answer, and I'm fearful now of, did I say the right thing? So I think that, you know, having
so nowadays then, I suppose, if we think about the last couple of months, has there been reason for you to actually talk to an insurer, or is it basically they just talk to me being your advisor and we deal with it?
I have probably 3 key people, my family members, my wife certainly, talks about the day-to-day. My GP talks to me about my medical, and you talk to me about my insurable interests and my planning. If anybody asks me outside of that, then I refer them to one or the other if I'm not capable of giving answers, there are days like that. So when those times occur, I just refer on. And I've got therefore a trusted advisor in each of those camps. And that allows me now to get on with life and start to build my life back together.
Perfect. Doug, look, thank you for your time. It's been really good hearing a little bit and some story and some background behind you. And good luck in the recovery.
Thank you, Matt. It's a pleasure.
Cheers.